And after hearing about these bloodthirsty attacks by Hamas, Congresswoman Tlaib initially issued a statement placing part of the blame on Israel, repeatedly calling Israel an apartheid government, and even placed some of the blame on our country's aid to them. She's entitled to her opinions and may espouse them freely, regardless of how grotesque they may be, but she's not fit to serve. She's not fit to represent the people of Michigan in Congress, and she should resign.
What a shameful weaponization of a horrific war to try to score political points to divide Democrats against Democrats. For shame. You don't care about the Congresswoman's constituents in Detroit. You don't care about the Congresswoman's constituents in Oakland County. You don't care. We have seen rising anti-Semitism. We have seen rising Islamophobia. We have seen attacks on children. We saw a child murdered in Chicago. We saw a woman drive her car into a building thinking that it was a Jewish center. And the focus from the other side of the aisle is to expel a member of Congress, not addressing any of the real safety issues, not addressing any of the valid fears and anger and hatred and concerns of the people that we represent, to focus on one member of Congress.
Thank you, Mr. President. We can disagree on many things. In this session alone, we've had heated exchanges, many exchanges on energy, on taxes, budgets, whether someone should be forced to join a union or not. And our debates have been heated. Some have been very angry, sad, happy, passionate, hyperbolic, and even flat out factually inaccurate. And that's okay. That's part of what our experimental democratic republic is all about, a free flow of ideas. But unfortunately, Mr. President, there are those rare occasions when an elected official, through words or actions, can cross a line of what should be accepted in a respected government body. And finally, earlier this week, in a bipartisan vote, her own congressional colleagues censured her for her reprehensible comments. The idea that someone would espouse such heinous, grotesque comments in the U.S. House of Representatives, hinting toward the wiping out of an entire historically persecuted people, is unbecoming of an official serving in government.
Thank you, Mr. President. This has been a really heartbreaking and challenging month. And to have the minority leader stand up in this moment to stoke more hatred and division directed at a member of Congress is devastating. For some context, my husband is Jewish. My daughter has an Israeli name. And over the past month, I have received messages from complete strangers. One who told me that they know where I live and that my daughter should be dead. I also represent many of the constituents that Congresswoman Tlaib represents. There was a resolution introduced in Congress by Congressman Ryan Zinke, who was previously the Secretary of the Interior under Donald Trump, to expel Palestinians from the United States completely. That is horrific. I have never heard members on the other side of the aisle care this deeply about the constituents that that member of Congress represents. Some of the most diverse people in the state of Michigan, who all have very real problems and fears and concerns. We represent one of the most diverse areas of the state, if not the country, where people who are directly impacted by the events in the Middle East are living side by side. One of my greatest fears is that the events happening in the Middle East right now divide us at home, that we see hate and division and anger boil over. Because I've always been proud that we are an area that can lead by example for the rest of the country, if not the world, to show how people with very different backgrounds and religions and experiences can and do live side by side. You don't care about the Congresswoman's constituents in Detroit. You don't care about the Congresswoman's constituents in Oakland County. You don't care. I hope we do better next year. Thank you.